You've been hanging from that bar for months. You jump up, you pull with everything you've got. Your face turns red, your feet kick like you're riding an invisible bicycle, and your chin barely grazes the bar before you drop back down like a sack of bricks. Meanwhile, some guy who looks like he skips leg day is knocking out 15 in a row like it's nothing. Let me fix that for you. Pull-ups aren't broken because you're weak. They're broken because almost everyone trains them completely backwards, and today we're rebuilding the whole thing from the ground up. First, let's kill the biggest myth in the game. You do not need bigger biceps to get your first pull-up. Your biceps are just backup dancers here. The real headliner is your lats, and most people have lats that are basically asleep. You can curl 40 pounds all day and still fail a dead hang pull-up because your nervous system has never learned how to fire your back muscles under load. Think of it like this. Your muscles are the engine, but your nervous system is the ignition. You can have a Ferrari engine sitting in your back, but if the ignition never turns on, you're not going anywhere. That's why so many people grind for months doing random back exercises and see zero progress on the actual pull-up. You're building the engine, but nobody taught you where the key goes. So the first fix is the dead hang. Sounds boring, does almost nothing for your ego, but it's the single most underrated pull-up drill that exists. Grab the bar, shoulder width, and just hang there. Let your shoulders relax up toward your ears for a second, then actively pull them down and back like you're trying to tuck them into your back pockets. That's called scapular retraction, and it's the exact switch that turns your lats on. Hold that active hang for 20 to 30 seconds. Rest, repeat for 3 or 4 rounds. This single drill teaches your shoulder blades how to move correctly before you ever try to pull your whole body weight up, and skipping it is the #1 reason people plateau at 0. Once your shoulders know how to engage, we move to scapular pulls. Same dead hang position, but instead of holding still, you pull your shoulder blades down and together without bending your elbows at all. Your body rises maybe an inch or two. It looks embarrassingly small, but this tiny movement is teaching your nervous system the exact first phase of every real pull-up. Do 10 to 15 of these, and you'll feel muscles under your shoulder blades wake up that you didn't even know you had. Now here's where most people mess everything up, and it's the second myth we need to bust. Kipping. Swinging your legs, using momentum, turning the pull-up into some kind of desperate whole-body flail. If your goal is a strict, controlled pull-up, kipping is the enemy. It feels like progress because you get your chin over the bar, but you're just teaching your body to cheat with momentum instead of building actual pulling strength. Every kip you do is a rep your lats never had to do real work for. If you want the strict pull-up, train strict from day one, even if that means doing partial reps or assisted reps instead of full sloppy ones. Which brings us to the actual bread and butter of getting your first pull-up, negatives. This is where you use a box, a bench, or a jump to get your chin above the bar, and then you lower yourself down as slowly as humanly possible. Aim for 5 full seconds on the way down. Biology has your back here because your muscles can control roughly 30% more weight lowering than they can lift, which means negatives let you train the full range of motion under real body weight resistance long before you can do the concentric pull. Do this for 3 sets of 3 to 5 slow negatives, and you'll notice within a couple weeks that the bottom half of the movement, which used to feel impossible, starts feeling controlled and strong. Band-assisted pull-ups are the next tool, and don't let your ego get in the way here. Loop a resistance band around the bar and put your foot or knee in the loop. The band takes a percentage of your body weight off the movement, letting you practice the entire pull-up pattern from full hang to chin over bar. As you get stronger, you drop down to a lighter band, then a lighter one again, until eventually you're doing it with no band at all. This progressive removal of assistance is basically the same principle powerlifters use when they gradually add weight to a bar, just running in reverse. Let's talk about grip for a second because this one confuses everyone. Wide grip, narrow grip, underhand, overhand, neutral. It honestly doesn't matter nearly as much as the fitness influencers make it sound. What matters way more is whether you're actually pulling your elbows down and back instead of just yanking your chin up. A slightly narrower neutral grip tends to be easier on your shoulders and lets more people find the movement pattern faster. So if you're a total beginner, start there. Once you've got a handful of strict reps, feel free to experiment with wide grip for more lat emphasis or underhand for more bicep involvement. The grip is a flavor choice. The pulling mechanics are the actual meal. Now, the mistake that quietly ruins more pull-ups than anything else. Forward head posture during the pull. If your chin is jutting forward and your neck is straining like you're trying to bite the bar, you've lost tension through your upper back and you're compensating with your neck muscles instead. Keep your chin slightly tucked, eyes forward, and drive your elbows down toward your hips like you're trying to put them in your back pockets. This single cue fixes more broken pull-ups than any amount of extra back training ever will. Here's something almost nobody tells you. Your grip strength is probably failing before your back does. If your forearms are burning out and your hands are slipping off the bar before your back even feels fatigued, that's not weakness. That's a training gap. Dead hangs for time, farmer carries, and just hanging from the bar every single day for as long as you can are some of the cheapest, most effective ways to build the grip endurance that lets your actual pulling muscles do their job without your hands giving out first. One more myth before we get to the actual program: the idea that you need to lose a bunch of weight before you can even think about a pull-up. Yes, body weight matters because you're literally lifting all of it, but chasing a scale number instead of training the movement is backwards thinking. Plenty of lean guys still can't do a pull-up because they've never trained their lats to fire, and plenty of bigger guys knock out reps because their pulling strength outpaces their body weight. If losing a little weight helps your leverage, great, but don't use it as an excuse to skip training the actual pattern today. The bar doesn't care what the scale says. It cares whether your back knows how to pull. So how do you actually put this together? 3 times a week, non-consecutive days. Start with active dead hangs, then scapular pulls, then either band-assisted reps or slow negatives depending on where you're at, and finish with straight hangs for time. Give yourself 2 to 3 minutes of rest between sets, because this is a strength skill, not a burnout exercise. And grinding through it exhausted just teaches your body sloppy patterns. Track your numbers every session, even the small ones, because a pull-up isn't something that shows up overnight. It's something that gets built rep by rep, week by week, until one day you grab that bar, pull, and your chin clears it clean. No kipping, no kicking, no excuses. That first strict pull-up feels like nothing else in fitness because, unlike lifting a heavier dumbbell, you're not adding weight to a machine. You're proving your own body weight can't hold you back anymore. Stick with the drills, respect the process, and stop judging your progress by the one thing you can't do yet, and start judging it by how much longer your dead hang lasts every single week. That's where the real pull-up is actually built. Give it 6 to 8 weeks of showing up and actually working the drills instead of just testing yourself over and over, and the whole movement starts to feel different. The bar stops feeling like an enemy and starts feeling like a tool you know how to use. And once that first strict rep finally clicks, the second one comes a lot faster than you'd expect, because now your nervous system already knows the way.